Hey everyone, this is Al from Wildlife Arts, and today I'm going to show you a statue of a black-backed jackal leaping out of the water and catching a bird. This is a statue of a black-backed jackal leaping out of the water and catching a bird. This statue was very difficult to make, but I wanted to make something new. This statue is made out of plaster of Paris with a bit of bandages. It only makes the statue a little bit stronger and a little bit lighter. I made this statue out of wax clay, which is a very good clay to use for this type of statue. It almost never dries and you don't need water to keep the clay nice and soft. When I started with this statue, there were a lot of problems, but the biggest problem was the weight of the jackal. The jackal's head and neck weighs more than the other half of the jackal's body, and there was nothing to support that weight. In the beginning, when I was still making it out of clay, I put a wooden stick from the tail to the neck to support the jackal, but it wouldn't have worked with the plaster. So I had to think up something new to support that weight, of course. So I thought of an idea of using a splash of water that comes into the legs and hopefully would support the jackal's weight. And it worked. Not only did it support the jackal's head and neck, but also the little bird as well. When I was done with the clay of the jackal, I started making the little bird also out of wax clay. It was a small statue, it was easy to make, and it didn't take that much time. When I was done with the jackal and the bird, I started with my silicone mold. This is the mold of the black-backed jackal. It's made out of silicone. The reason why I chose silicone is because the detail that I made on the clay is presented beautifully within the silicone mold and will come out just as good when you've done plastering it. The outer shell of the mold is made out of plaster of Paris with a bit of bandages. It helps keep the mold together and prevents the plaster from leaking out. Once you've done with the mold, you just take out all of the clay out of the mold. Make sure the mold is nice and clean. You don't want anything else to go wrong while you're plastering it. Once you're done cleaning out your mold, you use these clips to clip the mold together and prevent the plaster from leaking out. Now, when you're going to plaster this mold, you have to leave it upside down for a few days. Give the plaster some time to harden and to take that shape. This jackal will take up almost around a week to harden because of his size. Now, like I said, I made the bird separately from the jackal. The same thing I did with the jackal. I made it in two separate pieces. It's easier to work with them when they're not one whole piece. As you can see, the silicone has made the details stand out beautifully. And like the jackal, just put the two pieces together and of course clip them with these clips. Once you're done with it, just pour in the plaster right in there. Leave it upside down for a few days. This bird will take a few days less than the jackal, and give it some time to harden. Once you're done with this, you finally have your statue. When I was done with my mold, I finally had my statue. I was very lucky that nothing big had broken off, like the jackal's neck or the back, but it didn't happen. I was very glad. The only two things that didn't make it out of the mold was the jackal's ear and paw. But don't worry guys, if something like that happens, you can always just fix it with a bit of glue or plaster and it will look good as new. When I was done putting back all the broken pieces, I took my little bird and I glued it into the jackal's mouth, put a little bit of plaster in it just to make it look like it was there in the beginning. And there I had my statue. But the statue wasn't done just yet because it was all white and it wasn't a great color. So I took a little bit of black acrylic paint and I painted the jackal and the bird a nice dark color. And for a bit of splash of extra color, I put a little bit of bronze and gold on the nose, the ear, the fur, and the feathers just to highlight some places. And finally, my jackal statue was done. I was very happy with it and I was very happy to do this project. It was fun for me and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe at the end of the video and thank you for watching.